Welcome back. Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel.
Yes.
Glad you could join us for another video.
Yep.
Title of this video is how we made it through 2020 and tips for taking care of your mental health. I have my notes over here if you see me looking away.
But looking at it like
And I mean, I know we're in July now, that's when we're filming this, but
this year went by really fast.
it did. It seemed like 2020 went by so slow.
Like 2020 didn't count.
No, not at all. So, but as we continue to do videos, we want y'all to get to know us, and so we thought that this would be a good way to do that. So this is, kind of a mental health video. And by no way are we experts on any of this information.
We are not licensed professionals.
Correct. We are simply sharing our experience
And what works for us.
What works for us, how we handled the pandemic, how we worked together to make sure that we were both okay. And then we just wanted to share, because and one of our points is like, you're not the only person that feels the way that you feel. And the way that we learned that was through talking to each other. So we kind of have it broken down into like four things that we, how do you say it?
Like 4 stages we went through.
Not really stages, but like 4 topics.
Yeah.
For either how we dealt with things or how we kind of acknowledge stuff. So the first one is how we were affected by the pandemic.
Yes. So both of us were both going to work before this happened, and then after that, she worked from home 100%, but I still had to go in. So it was like totally different opposites under one household.
Yeah.
And still seeing people, trying to figure out how we could like social distance at my job with our staff and everything, and how to social distance with our clients and people who were coming in, and I'm trying to think of what else.
Then you have to have a tag in your car saying it was okay for you to be out.
Yeah, so in the DMV area we had a curfew, so I believe it was from
It's like midnight to 6 or something?
Yeah, it was like midnight to 6 a.m. And I had to carry a letter in my car basically saying that I was allowed to be out because I was an essential worker, and that I would have to show it just in case a cop pulled me over.
Which did not happen, thank
No,
God.
it didn't. Not at all. But I mean, it was crazy the fact that I had to carry that, and I had to still go into work and still communicate and like what's the word? Engage with people. Still, it was crazy because we were trying to figure out, like, they needed pens to write on paper where it sounded like, do we throw the pen away? Do we keep it and wash it? We're gonna be going through pens like all the time. Like, we had to come up with a more rigid cleaning schedule for the place that I worked at and everything. It was just crazy, and but we made it through, and it did work out. But it was a lot of stress knowing like what's going on outside, and I'm out there and Adrian's safe at home. Not saying she didn't go through stuff mentally, but
yeah, Lex would go to work, and I really struggled because I need routine. And so when the routine changed from getting up, getting dressed, putting my face on, and going to work to, okay, I don't know how I feel right now, and I have to get on a video call, and I don't want to put makeup on because I'm at home, but I'm working. I don't want to put regular work clothes on, so
in my own house.
Right. So the anxiety and depression crept up on me really quickly, so I really struggled. I had work to do, but again, getting used to working from home. And some people are like, oh, I love working from home, and this is great. I don't have to talk to people. Well, I don't know. I guess I just felt, of course, a sense of responsibility, but it was like, unless I had a video meeting, I mean, I was doing work at my leisure, but unlike when you're at work, all right, I got
a different environment.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, I'm at home. I could take my time.
Right. For me, it wasn't a sense of urgency, because everything that I needed to do, I had plenty of time to do it, and they were like, we're not gonna do X, Y, and Z. Just focus on these tasks. And I was like, all right, this is fine. So literally, I would do my work or whatever I needed to do for that day and sit and wait for Lex to come home.
Like, Adrian's the type of person where if you tell her she gotta work from home, she don't want to do it. So, but then she'll want to work from home some days. She'll be like, I can get this done at the house.
Exactly. So it's all about a mindset, and I was not in that mindset during that time. Because let's see, I don't think the BLM movement and protests had started happening yet. But once that started happening,
well, the protest, BLM was there, but the protest,
well, that was more in the summer, because everything really started happening in March, in the spring. So once those things definitely started happening, like, I just didn't know how to feel. And of course, we've had events happen in the past, but like I told Lex, I just don't remember feeling the way that I felt when when they were talking about Breonna Taylor, when they were talking about George Floyd.
I guess because for us, like on social media, people can hide behind fake profiles and stuff like that. But like when our parents and grandparents were growing up, you knew the preacher down the street was feeling some type of way about certain people, or you knew you couldn't go into this grocery store. Now it's just like, I don't know how to feel. Like, it's a feeling right now, but at the same time, you don't know for sure. Yeah. So you see all these trolls, like, on social media and everything.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It was like, trying to understand what's happening, and if there was new breaking news or whatever, like, I had to make her stop watching the news. Yeah, because she would, like, literally, she would be at work watching it, she would watch it at home, and one day, you came home, like, real upset.
I did.
Yeah. And you were like, I just don't know why they treat us this way, or why things are this way. And
I forgot what I thought.
Remember, it was like, like when, I think it was after George Floyd was murdered. You don't remember that?
I think I actually had watched the video.
Okay.
And it triggered me. It really did, because, I mean, y'all saw the video. And it made me feel some type of way, because I felt like y'all don't like us. And I'm like, what did we do? Right. Especially for us millennials who really haven't, not saying that like all black people have, I mean, like, us personally, we've experienced certain things, but not to that devastation, like, basically. Yeah. But yeah, I told her that I was just feeling some type of way, and that I just
it just makes you think about things that you don't typically think about. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so I saw this man in the grocery store and he looked at me funny. Like, you just start questioning everything, and it's like,
even more.
Right. And so it's like, I could be minding my own business. Are they gonna call the police on me because of...
Yeah. You be thinking, oh, like, I guess you be like, oh, that man was looking at me today, he crazy. But now it's just like, was he suspecting me of doing something? Right. Or assuming that I was doing something when I really wasn't? So that's the type of feeling all of 2020. Yeah. And a little bit of 2021.
Yeah. So it was like scared. So we were scared and anxious and always on guard. So whenever we would go out, you really just kept to yourself. Of course, you weren't really socializing because you were social distancing. Yeah. But, typically if you walk in the store and be like, hey, how you doing? Or whatever. It was just not a friendly, what's the word I'm thinking for?
Interaction.
Well, not even interaction, but like, I won't say that you didn't feel welcome, but just the typical, okay, I'm going to the store. It wasn't just that normal feeling. I think a lot of 2020 just made us really think about things.
And it didn't help we had to wear masks, so all you could see was our eyes.
Right, exactly. And it wouldn't be like, typically you could kind of, and, it felt like under the mask you're like,
exactly. It's just like, of course, when I come up to people, like, I'll have a straight face. I'm like, hi.
Right.
Because it'll be two different things, like straight face and then hey. But with a mask, you can't see that. You'll just see eyes, and it looks so judgmental.
Exactly. Exactly. So just really dealing with that and understanding, you know what, I gotta go out there and do whatever it is that my task is. I'm going to the grocery store, or I'm going to get some food, and I'm not going to worry about the other. So we had to make a conscious effort
all I gotta worry about is me,
right,
and my surroundings. That's it.
Right. So another way we were affected was not being able to see family and friends, because we are very social, and so we were very involved in church.
Yes, we call our granny every single day because she's our best friend.
Yes. So, but our aunt and uncle lived like 5 minutes from us, and not being able to go to their house, and in the beginning not being able to go home or go to dinner with friends, or just those typical, that social interaction, because some people are like, oh, I don't have to deal with people at all, and it's like no, this like going through 2020 made me realize that I need to go to work. Like, I need that social aspect. I need that sense of
urgency.
Yeah, sense of urgency, and a sense of, okay, that routine. You don't realize it. Like, I didn't realize I needed all those things until I couldn't have those.
Yes, because then I come home and she'd be like, can we talk? Look, done finished all her work, harboring up all these feelings and stuff. Like, yeah, it was a whole moment. Like, you would barely talk to me for like a week.
It wasn't no week.
It was a couple days, because you have been thinking about this and not knowing how to talk to me, because I'm so sensitive.
Well, and that was the thing too, was understanding how I was feeling and where that was coming from. But one of the tips that we'll talk about later is, like, you have to talk about it. You can't just keep it bottled up. And I always say you can talk to anybody about anything if you start the conversation with, my heart, or this is coming from, this is how I'm feeling. This is not a reflection of something you did. Like, I think that's a way to start conversations. Like, I should have started the conversation like that.
To me, that sounds like a warning.
But that's what I'm saying.
When they say, my heart.
Well, but I think you have to say something of, like, if you feel like it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, you have to say, I feel like you have to say that. What?
I don't know. I feel like you could say something else.
Like what? I don't say my heart, but like, just like I tell you, like, this is how I'm feeling. Well, and I wanted to talk to you about it.
Say it like that instead, not Jesus. Like, be like, Jesus, you know my heart.
Well, Jesus do know my heart.
Like, you be praying like, God, I know I shouldn't have done it.
God. But
no, you can say it like you did say it. Like, there's something on my mind that I want to communicate to you, and preface it like, I don't want it to sound mean or something like that.
Yeah, I think you just have to be intentional about what you say, and then, just let the other person know, like, this is not an attack on your character. This is not, this is just solely how I'm feeling. And then you talk about it. So, okay, so the second thing that we, I guess, kind of encountered during 2020 was how to deal with our feelings.
Our emotions.
Yes, how to deal with our emotions and how we got closer. So, like, constantly, like, one thing I learned about Lex when we started living together was she wouldn't outwardly express how she felt or just talk about her feelings.
No, because I always felt like I was a burden, so I didn't want to burden somebody else with my feelings or what I was going through. And Because I'm like, there was already stuff going on. Not saying like, how can I put it? Like, events were happening, and I didn't want to be like another burden on somebody else, telling them how I felt, or how like basically like, I'm sad, or I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. I'm feeling some type of way. So I'm learning to do better, but that's how I was. I would be quiet. I'd come home, be quiet, and my agent would be like, how are you? I'm fine. And I'd walk off into my room.
And I would let her stay back there a little while, and then I'd be like, are you sure you're okay?
And I still wouldn't tell her.
And so finally, like, I was like, look, I don't want to be bothering you. I don't want to, just kind of, are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Are you sure? Like,
she can't get like that. Like, there are days where I'm like, I'm fine. I just need some alone time. And I'll be in my room on my bed watching YouTube on my phone or reading a book. And she'll give me maybe 20 minutes. And then she's at my door frame like... Hi. Are you okay?
I don't ask if you okay again. Oh my God.
Be like, can I come in? I mean, she's doing better. She's learning.
Yes, but that comes from, we would just check in with each other, and I feel like if you live with someone or like in your close knit circle, like you have to talk to each other, and if something is
feel
not
safe, emotionally safe, that
right,
you can talk about certain topics.
Right. And if not, find your person that you can talk to.
And if you can't find your person, then seek help, like a therapist. Right. And there's nothing wrong with going to a therapist.
Not at all.
I'm looking for one right now.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And then having some of those conversations, we worked on not, I won't say we worked on it, but talking through the communication things and asking if we were okay, and if there was something wrong, not judging each other, and just supporting each other through the process. I think you have to, when you're feeling some kind of way that you haven't felt before, you have to talk through it, or write it out, like journal or something. And but it's really important to have your circle or have your people that you can talk to, and I'm not saying to tell everybody your business. Yes. But, your best...
close, your close group of friends or friend.
Right.
That you trust with, like, emotionally you trust them.
Right.
With your feelings or how you feel about something, and they trust you as well. Right.
So you can have conversations and talk it out. Because sometimes, again, in going through our little, like one of our first... I won't say disagreements, but I guess it was kind of a disagreement.
I mean, we don't argue that much.
No, but we just had to talk through it. And once
it was kind of funny.
But we got closer and dealt with our feelings. We were also honest about how we felt. And just being honest. Like, if I didn't feel good, I'm like, I'm not feeling it today. Today is not a good day. And then she said, why is today not a good day? I'm feeling this. I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling anxious. And just being able to say all of those things.
Yeah. And also we learned how to turn off different modes of ourselves, because since she's older, sometimes she feels like she needs to be my mom. I'm like, I already got a mom. Or like she feels like she needs, sometimes you told me that. Or like it's the older sister role. Right. And like feel like you need to fix everything. Right. And I'm like, and I would tell her, I'm like, before we talk, I need you to be my sister or my friend, and I just need you to listen. Right. Because there'd be times where I complain about my job, and she's like, you need to go apply for some new jobs. Or you look at the jobs I sent you, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, thanks for the talk, and go in my room. I'd be like, why would I want to talk to you after that? Like, for real.
But once she explained, she was just venting. And what I also explained too was, from what you're telling me, and again, this is the communication part. It's like, you sound aggravated with these people, and it's like, unless you can change processes at work, or fix something to fix the problem, it's like, we need to find another job. So, but that was my solution to things. But once she said, I just need you to listen. So I'm like, okay. I said, well, tell me when you want a solution and I'll help you find one.
Because, I mean, I was applying for jobs, just waiting for something to bite. But she'd be like, you need to apply for some more jobs. I'm like, okay, TED Talk, thanks. Like,
my gosh.
I mean, that's how it felt. It is something, because you would say, like, you need to apply for some more jobs. And I feel like it would just shut me down.
Yeah.
Of, like, what I wanted to say. Because it's like, I've been holding these feelings in all day. Because that job was the best. Because it, like, holding the feelings in and then coming home thinking I can relax and I can't.
Well, and again, I didn't know this until we like really talked about it. So, but once we talked about it, then I understood, you know, I'm like, okay, is this venting or am I helping come up with a solution to a problem?
My God. And now we clearly know, like, okay, I can help you with this, or,
right.
Or, like, you're just listening.
Yes.
Type thing. Now we know how to differentiate the both.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but a couple of habits. This is our number 3. The third thing that we learned or picked up in quarantine was several habits that we started. So we started picking up our groceries. Before, we would go to the grocery store every week.
It felt like a war.
Well, yes. Because we shop at Walmart and sometimes we'll go to Food Lion, but typically we will go on the weekend and everybody's at the grocery store on the weekend. So, one, picking up our groceries, we continue to do that because it saves time. And it also helps us to stay on budget.
Yes.
So you see what you've ordered and how much it is, and you're like, okay, I really don't need 2 of these.
Yeah, because we'll meal prep for our work week. So it'll be like, so we'll ask each other what's the menu for next week. We'll get this amount and stuff. And it's just easier.
Yeah.
Because during the panorama, we would go into the store and it looked like straight up chaos. Like, there's this one guy who was not in Walmart paraphernalia, but he was reorganizing a candy like row and touching everything.
Yeah, and this was like beginning of.
Had no mask on, no gloves, no nothing, so I don't know where your hands been. But you moving stuff you're not supposed to be moving. I'm like, you don't work here.
Right. And save money. We started doing that.
In our minds.
Yes. Also, we would video chat more. Instead of just calling, we would video chat or FaceTime with family and friends. Which, that just gave us that connection. Even though we weren't in person with each other, it just gave us more of a... And I know everybody's done that between Zoom and those different things, but for us, it made a difference because we started talking to Granny.
Yes.
On video chat, and as much as we love to see her, she loves seeing us too.
Yes. It's so funny because she'll be on there and she'll have the phone like this, so all you see is like this.
Or
part.
she will hold it up to her ear. Yeah. I'm like, no, look at it. So that was, we still do look forward to those calls with her. And another thing is we've tried to find virtual things to do or socially distanced activities. Again, we were very involved with church, and so we continued to watch church online. If they would have some type of virtual activity, we try to do that. So they had trivia.
I think one of your coworkers did yoga on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
We did yoga on a Zoom call. We done something else on the Zoom call.
Yeah, we did several things, and then we went to an outdoor drag show, drive-in drag.
Yes.
We went to see that, so that was fun.
And then we watched all the verses.
Yes, that was fun too.
Very, very, very fun.
So some habits that we'll continue. We'll continue checking in with each other.
Yes.
And again, I feel like last year we got closer and more in tune with each other by just talking to each other and not assuming things. So
we're like, okay, she's fine. I could be working like this.
Listening is fundamental.
I'm so very sad. We're not laughing at that mental health, but that's how it would be. Like, now we can laugh at it. Back then we didn't.
No. And that's the thing too. I think when you're going through something, you can't see the other side of it, or you can't, but then you kind of go back and laugh at it and be like, you know what, I've grown. You know, I was
progress.
Yes, progress. I was not thinking logically during some of that. So, and you have to be proud of yourself from where you came from.
I'm very proud of you.
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And another thing is we will continue to protect our peace by any means necessary.
Yes, I have cleaned out my Facebook so much. I don't see anything about 45. I don't see anything about Fox News.
Just any opinion that makes me feel some kind of way. And I think some people don't understand that
social media can take a hold on you.
Yeah.
Whether it's like about body positivity, politics, what people's personal opinion about things. People like, oh, so that's how you think. Like,
right.
And learning about people and learning that, like, oh, that's how it is.
Right.
And you're thinking, like, I thought you were like this.
Right. Or you were really nice to me and you like me, but this is how you really feel about me and my people.
Yes.
And so you're
basically, it's like, oh, you're not like the other black people.
Exactly.
Type stereotype.
Which is a whole nother conversation. But just understanding and realizing, like, understanding your triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like, taking a social media break. One thing I have to say that I enjoy about my iPhone is that it tells you how much screen time you've had. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, that was a lot this week. And so monitoring, and then too, again, monitoring how much I'm on there. Let me find something else to do that's productive with my time besides scrolling on my phone.
Yes.
So, but yeah. So for the last part of our video, again, we are not mental health experts. We are not certified by any means in the field of mental health. These are simply things that we've learned and that we will continue to do for us. So we've kind of labeled this as steps that helped us deal with our feelings.
Yes.
And the first step is acknowledge how you feel.
Knowing that, hey, I feel some type of way about something. And then also saying, like, you are entitled to feel that way.
Yes.
So, of course,
well, I won't say entitled,
but you have the right to feel some type of way.
Yes, your feelings are valid. And once you recognize that, like, it's okay that I feel this way, and not being ashamed or embarrassed of how you feel, but then you have to do the work to understand why you feel that way. Yeah. And also understand where those feelings are coming from. If someone, like, if your boss was mean to you at work, that could be why you're sad. Or, you know,
like, just a repetition of people piling work on to you.
Right, you're feeling overwhelmed.
And also you not saying, like, hey, I got this work. Communicating that, like, you already have enough work to do, so you can't accept more work.
Right. So again, being an advocate for yourself and learning to speak up for yourself.
Exactly.
That again comes with the acknowledging, hey, I'm feeling this kind of way.
I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, depressed, like, all that ties in.
Right. So then the second step is communication. So be open and understanding of yourself and others.
Yes. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, and you need to communicate with somebody who's giving you that good amount of work to do, be like, hey, I already have enough on my plate as it is right now. Can you find somebody else to complete this task?
Right.
So communicating that to somebody. If they get mad, oh well, that's fine. If they don't, then you know it didn't hurt when you said it. I know for me, I have anxiety like that for saying exactly that. Like, hey, I already got enough on my plate as is. Can you find, like I said, can you find somebody else to delegate this task to? I really had to learn how to do that, or just asking the question if I didn't know how to do something.
Right.
Instead of feeling stressed about it, like, I don't know what to do.
Sitting there looking at the paper, like, I don't know what to do, but you still sitting there looking around.
Like when you see those memes talking about when you, basically, you put fake stuff on your resume and then they hire you.
And you're talking about, let me Google how to do this.
Yeah, basically, but communicating like, hey, I don't know how to do this. How do I do this? Asking for help
Right.
as well.
And that comes with find the words to express how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether it's at work, if it's in a relationship, whatever the case may be, say, this is how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out what to do, but I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's where your circle of people come from. When you have people that care about you, they're willing to listen.
Yeah.
They'll be willing to walk with you through the process instead of, well, that's not my problem.
Exactly.
And if you get that response, then no, that person does not care about you.
Yep.
So,
or they don't, yeah, basically, emotionally, they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, that's why communication it's not easy, because like Lex was saying, sometimes I've had that anxiety too. Like if I had a question and I didn't want to ask a supervisor because I felt like they would be mad because I asked a question.
Getting reprimanded.
Right. Getting reprimanded for trying to make sure you do the work right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a true anxiety. There's also an anxiety of, perfection.
Yeah.
Thinking that you have to get everything right, you have to do everything right. You have to take that pressure off yourself. Just like you say, you know what? I have this question and I'm trying to do this work. Either you can help me figure it out or it's going to be wrong.
Exactly. That's how I felt. Because, of course, being a job where you were taught 3 times and then you were supposed to be able to do it perfectly after that, that's not how I work.
Right.
It's not. I have to do it several times before I'm able to do it by myself without anybody over my shoulder or guiding me through the process. So when it's a system like that, I'm going to ask a lot of questions, and when you get reprimanded for it, you don't feel comfortable.
Right.
But then I had to get the gumption up to not care of their reaction, because 1, I'm getting paid to do this. 2, I don't want to get fired. And 3, I need to know how to do this task correctly, because then I might get penalized for it, or the company I work for might get penalized as well.
Right.
So I broke through that. I was like, I don't care how you feel, but I need to ask you this question.
Yeah.
And it's helped.
Yes.
Be bugging people and everything, but yes, communicating, finding the words on how to say things. Another way is sometimes, like for me, I'm very introverted, so being outside with like a lot of people, I get drained. So I need time to myself, and also like sometimes on my period, or if it's been a long day, I'm just like, I'll come home. She be like, Asian would ask me like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm kind of feeling some type of way at the moment, but I'll be fine. Just letting her know like, hey, I'm kind of in a mood. Communicating that. And then she'll give me my space, and then I'll come back and we can talk about how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said before, if the feelings of anxiety or, being scared or whatever you're feeling, when you're not feeling like yourself and you've tried different things, seek professional help.
Yes.
And there is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just need a person to talk to that is not close to you. And not only
somebody from the outside to see in.
Yes, exactly. I've gone to therapy for several years, and like I tell some people, nothing has to be wrong with you to go to therapy. Sometimes it's just nice to go and talk to someone, and they give you a different perspective on life.
Yes. And
then they will say, let's try these things. Let's see if maybe thinking about situations differently help. And just practicing having a different mindset. It's not easy work, but I can tell you it definitely is helpful. Not only will you grow, you just you become a better version of you. You become your best self.
Yeah. And if they need to prescribe you something, there's nothing wrong with that as well.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I think the ultimate goal is being the best you, and how you can get there in a positive, healthy way.
Basically.
And then find different ways to relax and to reset. Self-care, whether it's going to get your nails done, going to get your hair done, having a glass of wine and watching your favorite movie.
Or taking a shower and exfoliating.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all get you some exfoliating gloves.
Oh, God. but taking care of yourself, you know, making sure you can eat a good meal, something that makes you happy, but also are you, you know,
taking care of yourself.
Yeah, are you, you know, you're not drinking 5 sodas a day. You know,
getting your water in and hydrating your skin and your soul.
Yes, taking your vitamins, eating your greens, or drinking your smoothie, and not saying that you have to eat all healthy stuff, but just whatever you need to fuel you that's gonna make you feel good.
Yeah.
And not just a temporary, like, you know, caffeine. And stuff like drinking too much coffee or too many caffeinated sodas. You just want to make sure that you are living your best life, and you know, so that you'll be here for a while.
You could drink some tea, which we do that.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes we'll just have music playing in the apartment, and we won't be on our phones. We'll be like looking up things like for work or stuff like that, or just laying there on the bed, just laying there without our phones and just not thinking about anything.
Yes, taking time for you. You know, research that trip that you've been wanting to go on, or you know, look up those shoes that you wanted to buy, or
if you want to start a project, plan on the project.
Yeah, all of those things are self-care, because you're trying to accomplish goals that you want to reach, and if it's gonna better you, whether it's like they say, expanding your horizons, it's like you're trying different things. That's great. You know, continue to do some of those things.
Yes.
And lastly, spend time with family and friends. Make sure that you're spending time with the people that care about you most.
Yes.
Whether it's your given family or your chosen family.
Basically.
Just because you don't have to be alone. Remember that you're not alone. You know, there's somebody that cares about you. And I know when you're feeling some kind of, and that's what we call it, feeling some kind of way, but whether it's anxious, depressed, any of those things to where you don't feel like yourself,
like there's somebody out there that will listen to you. Like I have some friends, we won't talk for about 2 months, and she'd be like, "You alright?" And we'll talk for about a good hour. We'll communicate through Facebook and stuff like that, and then after that, she'd be like, 3 months later, "Hello, you okay?" Talk for another hour, and sometimes it's just like that. But it's really good to have those type of people in your life. Somebody who will listen to you, and then you can reciprocate that to them as well.
Right.
Don't just allow them to be the person that listens to you all the time. Listen to them as well.
Right.
But be with family. Call them. Sometimes I'll call mom and I'm like, I just want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
Like on my way home and stuff. She my best friend. But Didi's my best friend too.
Yes.
That's our granny.
Yes. So again, we hope that this has helped you in some kind of way, or you know, maybe gave you some tips if you haven't been feeling yourself, or just, you know, way to self-care, way to take your mental health by the reins and just kind of dealing with it. It's hard.
Yes.
But we hope this has been helpful to you. And if you want to see more of these videos, you know,
like this video, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
And leave us a comment as well.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges you had during the pandemic?
The panorama.
You know, what are some things that you did to try to get that under control?
And what are some discussions that you've had, like with your friends or in your household? About 2020.
Exactly. So thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.